Hopefully, the ICJ can do something about the Israeli government, being that they're signed on to the ICJ to abide by their laws. And let's hope that they will rule that the Israeli government is committing a genocide.
A South African case accusing Israel of genocide in the Gaza war heads to the International Court of Justice for hearings this week.
Please be seated.
So, what's it about? And what happens next? The ICJ, also known as the World Court, is the highest United Nations legal body. It should not be confused with the International Criminal Court, also in The Hague, which handles war crimes cases against individuals. The ICJ deals with disputes between states. That's often about borders, but increasingly includes cases by countries accusing others of breaking UN treaty obligations.
Yeah, we definitely need a strong um, uh, court system for the nations that everybody be abiding by if they break international law or UN laws.
Gambia, for example, brought an ongoing genocide case against Myanmar in 2019 over the latter's treatment of the Rohingya minority group. South Africa's 84-page filing accuses Israel of committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. It's doing this, South Africa claims, by killing them, causing serious mental and bodily harm, and by creating conditions on life, quote, calculated to bring about their physical destruction.
And yeah, that is what they're doing. That is the facts. And then you have various ministers calling for the relocation of Palestinians, and that's or you got ministers calling for the outright genocide, calling everybody a terrorist. So it, the South African government does have a good case.
South Africa, which has a long history of supporting the Palestinian cause, also alleges that Israel has failed to curb incitement to genocide by its own officials in violation of the Genocide Convention.
I mean, well, you got Bibi himself calling for genocide using the story of Amalek, saying that you gotta kill every man, woman, child, and animal.
Israel has called the claim baseless and said it will present its case in court. A government spokesman accused South Africa of an absurd blood libel.
All South Africa has to do is showcase what the Israeli government is doing, as well as what the various Palestinian ministers have said about either relocating Palestinians or just killing them all.
Israel began its bombardment of Gaza following Hamas's October 7th cross border rampage, in which, according to Israeli officials, 1,200 people were killed. The Israeli military says it tries to avoid harm to civilians but blames Hamas for embedding fighters within residential areas, something.
Well, that's no justification for indiscriminately bombing Gaza. How can you say you're avoiding civilian casualties when you're doing an indiscriminate bombings? As long as with the IDF that are on video or the uh, amounts of stories about IDF members shooting uh, civilians that are doing nothing, like the civilians that were being sniped in a Catholic church.
The group denies. Palestinian health officials say the Israeli offensive has so far killed more than 23,000 Palestinians in Gaza.
Compared to how many Hamas members that have been killed, maybe a few hundred. So, yeah, they're doing a genocide, and what? Millions of Palestinians are starving, uh, and 80% of the infrastructure has been destroyed.
The ICJ hearing on January the 11th and 12th will deal with a request by South Africa for provisional measures, including ordering Israel to suspend its military campaign in Gaza. Such measures are designed to prevent dispute from getting worse, while the court looks at the full case. The ICJ's rulings are final and without appeal, but it has no way of enforcing them. However, a ruling against Israel could hurt its international reputation and set a legal precedent.
Oh yeah, this will definitely cause their reputation to plummet, even though it's already plummeting. 150 nations is against the Israeli genocide against the Palestinians.
There are several hoops to jump through before a full case could be heard. The ICJ needs to find that it has prima facie jurisdiction, after which Israel would get another chance to argue the court has no grounds to look at South Africa's claim. It is not unusual for several years to pass between the initial claim and the actual hearing of the case on its merits.